All right, let's speak now to Samkele Maseko, SABC News reporter who was there and, of course, watching the proceedings there in that Imbizo. Samkele, residents saying that crime, violence and drugs have taken over their community, clearly unhappy.
Indeed, Bongiwa, the community of Tsakane and other surrounding areas here in Ekurhuleni are definitely not happy, particularly with the social ills taking place within their areas, crime, drugs taking over the streets of these particular areas. Some residents raising issues of electricity. The Minister of Electricity and Energy, Dr. Cyril Ramaphosa, spoke about how those who are poor and who are not having those financial means to sustain their livelihoods, Eskom and government needs to come on board and provide those particular poor residences within South Africa with that free electricity that government provides. And the president also speaking about the amounts of money that have been spent so far in some of his presidential imbizos, as there were some concerns that exorbitant amounts of money are being used. For instance, about 44 million rands was used in a period of 4 events over 8 months for some of the presidential imbizos of the president, saying that this is value for money, as they as government are getting the opportunity to engage with the people, and the people are getting an opportunity to engage with their government on a first-hand basis and express some of their concerns.
It's one thing, Samkele, for people to engage with government directly and express their concerns, but at the same time, if residents themselves, want action, this is something that must be done speedily. For example, I ask against the backdrop of the local economy, that the residents were told that it will continue to grow and thrive, but this issue of local economy and spaza shops and how difficult things can be at times is nothing new.
It is nothing new, Bongiwe, particularly when you look at some of the policy proposals that were there by the Department of Economic Development during the previous tenure of Lebogang Maile, where he spoke about the township economy and how this needs to particularly be formalized. You remember the era of David Makura, he spoke extensively about it in the Gauteng townships. We've also seen a number of premiers in other provinces and MECs of economic development speaking on this particular issue. But you still have these particular spaza shops, which was a target that Panyaza Lesufi has set his targets on, that these spaza shops need to be at the hands of South Africans as opposed to the foreign nationals who are currently occupying these particular spaza shops in townships, and that has not yet come to the fore. Those particular funds have, or fund that had been set up by the Gauteng provincial government has not yet come to the fore. But also the Minister of Small Business and Enterprises, Stella Ntabeni Abrahams, was also present. She also gave a bit of a glimpse to some of those members of the community of Tsakane who were here speaking on the sidelines with them on how the government and the department that she is responsible has a number of grants that are available for small and medium enterprises that are particularly operating within that spaza shop sector.
Samkele, the issue of, drugs and crime is a huge one, and it's one that has reverberated across, various townships as the president has visited various provinces. Let's talk about what the Minister of Police had to say to residents to try and reassure them, to say that things will be brought under control, because certainly residents cannot continue to just cry about crime and nothing is done.
The Minister of Police, Sanzo Mchunu, was basically saying that he stands with the stance taken by some of the police provincial commissioners within the country. He didn't mention them by name, but you look at Ntantla Mkhwanazi in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, for instance, where the police officers, when they go into a situation and they're confronted by bullets, when they are trying to apprehend and arrest some suspects, they end up fighting fire with fire. And in that instance, there ends up being casualties, particularly, or fatalities, when it comes to those whom are particularly suspected of having done wrong or having been in the wrong side of the law. They end up being shot and killed by the police. The minister saying that they will be fighting vociferously when it comes to the issues of crime, particularly when you look at the drug busts that are taking place throughout the country at this point in time, or in all provinces of the country. You look at the drug bust that just recently took place in Sandton, and that will just show you how the police are moving in, particularly when it comes to crime intelligence, in noticing and apprehending those involved in the drug trade within the country, particularly saying that it is particularly becoming a hot issue that South Africa's streets and communities are being flooded by these particular narcotics.
And Samkele, another issue, of course, is the issue of water. And listening to the minister there saying that the city of Ekurhuleni is building a new water pumping station in order to ensure that they address some of these issues of water supply. Were the deadlines here?
There were no deadlines that were submitted there in this particular address by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Phemima Chodina, but the Executive Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Samkele, also spoke extensively that they are refurbishing the infrastructure, particularly the piping system, in order to be able, and pumping system that they have within the city, and working with Rand Water. The Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Velenkosini Hlabisa, also spoke extensively that they had a meeting with Rand Water yesterday to identify some of the deficiencies that are there within the water and sanitation system in this particular municipality in Ekurhuleni, and how they can work with Rand Water in order to try and improve this provision of water within this specific municipality. Remember, there's also issues of electricity, there are power cuts, there's issues of water, that is sometimes the pumping systems are blown up and they don't work, and these are some of the issues the mayor of the city, Imbizo, has been working extensively to try and resolve along with municipal officials. But they are saying that there is an infrastructure backlog, and the infrastructure is being dilapidated, and with the huge migration that is currently taking place, the system is currently constrained and they do have to expand it.
All right, Samkele, thank you very much for wrapping the day for us there. That was my colleague Samkele Maseko, SABC News reporter.